Hello friends, welcome to TechnoPoints. In this video, we are going to learn about RecyclerView. So as you are watching this video, you might have heard multiple times about RecyclerView. Well, let me tell you in short what RecyclerView is used for. Whenever we want to show some type of list in our application, that time we can use RecyclerView. Well, but why RecyclerView? There are multiple alternatives like ListView also. There is available and it is quite easy to implement. So why RecyclerView? Well, RecyclerView provides major benefits over ListView. So let me tell some of those which are major benefits over ListView. So basically what ListView does, ListView has the option to only create a vertical list, but RecyclerView provides us the flexibility to create vertical as well as horizontal list also. So this is one of the advantage. Again, major performance improvement is that whenever let's say we have hundreds of contact list, let's say we are open the dialer and we have hundreds of contacts which our application has to show, and what the list view will do, list view will create 100 copies, 100 containers of that, and will create all the lists ready, and whenever the user is seeing that list, all of the list is available to the user. But all of these 100 contacts are visible to the user at the single screen. Obviously not. There are only 5 to 7 contacts that are visible at one instance to the user, and all other, let's say 7 contacts are visible, and all other remaining 93 contacts are not visible to the user. But they are still ready and still consuming the space of the application. And this is a major performance flaw in the list view. So it might create a lag in our application, it make our application halt, or it might crash sometimes due to this. But RecyclerViews comes up with a brilliant solution for this problem. RecyclerViews, as its name suggests, is recycles the views. Now let me explain how the recycling works. Well, when we start scrolling our screen from bottom top to bottom, let's say there are 7 cards are visible there, contact cards are visible on the screen. RecyclerView has actually created 9, one extra at the top and one extra at the bottom. So let's say I started scrolling from top to bottom, then the one view which is at the bottommost will starts disappearing, and the from top one view will be coming, it start becoming visible. So the bottom views which is whenever which is completely becomes invisible, what recycler view does, it takes that same view and attaches it to the top of the list, and only the contents are the changed with the appropriate position, whatever the values of the list at that instant. In this process, it recycles the views, as just I have told that it recycles the view which is at the bottom and attaches it at the top. So in this way it recycles the view, that's why it is called as recycler view. So what will happen if this is done by the recycler view? There are not already 93 all other contact cards are will not be created and will not sit there in consuming the memory, but it will improve the performance drastically. So now I hope you have got enough understanding of how to use RecyclerView and how what advantage it provides. Now let's move towards implementation and see how to actually implement the RecyclerView. So here I have created a sample project which is an empty activity, and we will be implementing RecyclerView in this activity. So we will be using some list from the internet from some API response, and we'll be showing that list offline in our RecyclerView. So for adding the RecyclerView, there is first step to add the dependency for that, and you can just Google as a RecyclerView dependency and just click on the first response here to get the relevant dependency, and you can just copy the dependency from here. This is the latest version. I am going to copy it, and then let's open build.gradle, paste it at the bottom, implementation, and this dependency, and let's click on sync now. to sync the project and include the RecyclerView in our project. Yeah, the sync is complete and we can now safely use the RecyclerView in our application. So in the activity main.xml, there is a here common layout itself. Here is a RecyclerView. We will just drag and drop it here, and we'll just make it as match parent as both width and height. So we don't need these two things, and we'll make some ID here. What rv underscore post recycler view and post. We'll be showing the list of post here, which is on this. We are using this this URL jsonplaceholder.tpcode.com/post. So this URL, this is open source API which gives us near about hundreds of posts here, but we will not be accessing them through the internet. I have just created all of this list in a separate of strings.xml. Here I have created here ID, title and body for each of the post, and there are total 10 post strings I have created here. So we'll use the same string here, and we'll show it offline. Okay, it is recycler view. We have added it, but for the recycler view, it recycles the views. So we should have at least one view which should be repeated. Like we have to show all this data here. We have to show it ID, title and body. So we have to create some layout for showing how the one item should be displayed, and all the items will be exactly duplicated depending on that. So we will create one file for that. We have to create one layout file for that. So let's right click on the layout, new layout resource file. We'll name it as layout underscore post. Okay, now let's make one layout here. We'll be making a simple layout. Let's say our text view for our ID, and this another text view which will be for our title, and let me do some adjustment here. We'll put width at 0 dp, and height is fine, and we'll constraint it here so it will match here fully. And we will not use Android text, we will use tools text, so that this will be visible to only at the design time. Okay, one, and okay, instead of one I'll just use here ID one, which is the string resource I have already created, and here also I'll use title, sorry, title one. Okay, and here also I'll use tools, and okay, let me add some size to that, 20 sp. Let me copy the size also for this 20 sp, and again we'll add one another text view for our body of the post, and we'll add constants. Let me add it from here, constraint start to start of text view 2. Okay, and we'll also add the same size to this text view as well, and let me make the ID to some meaningful names. This is for ID, so we'll give post underscore ID. Let's rename this one as post underscore title, and this one as post underscore body. Fine. Let me change this one also to the body one. Okay, and let us add one divider line also. And there is also one got major, not major, some minor difference between ListView and RecyclerView, that ListView automatically adds the divider line, but RecyclerView don't. So that is not major, that is just a minor, and it is not necessary. I just told you to let you know about that. Height will keep at 1 dp. We don't need ID for this one. So we have to add the constraint top to bottom of post body, and we'll set the background as a black color. Okay, that is okay, and we'll add some margin at the margin top and margin bottom, 5 dp each. Margin bottom 5 dp. Okay, that is fine. So we have now layout as ready, and in the recycler, in the main activity main, we can refer this to get an idea how the layout will be visible, but it will be only for the design time. Here is one property at list item tools colon list item, and here is we are able to see here layout underscore post. So once we add this one, we are able to see all the list here. One thing I forgot to do, it should not be height, should not be match parent, height should be prep content. So we'll actually see here the list of all the posts, how all the posts will be visible. Okay, and we can also, we have already added the layout margin. Okay, that is fine. Yes, so our layout file is ready, and strings are already ready, but we need one adapter to hold all these views, and we make this adapter for both list view and recycler view. So we'll be going to create a custom adapter for this one. So I'll create a right click here for this, and content class file, so we'll name it as post adapter. This is the one of the most important thing in this tutorial. But before creating the adapter, I'll just create one data class here, because it as it needs at the recycler view needs this layout, but this it also needs some data class to save the classes at the different instances, to save the values of that. So for that, let us create a new data class here. I'll create as named as post, and this class will have all the values which are needed in this layout file. So we need three values here: post id, post title, and post body. So we'll create here val id. We'll keep it as a string only. Val title, it is also string, and val body, it is also string. That's it for this class. It doesn't need anything else. So coming back to the adapter, we'll extend this adapter from the list adapter, but make sure to, there are two imports for the list adapter. One is from android.widget and another is from androidx.recyclerview.widget. So we need the second one, which is coming from recyclerview. So just click on this one. So actually this list adapter just named as list, but is actually inherited from recyclerview. We can just control click on this one, and we can see here it extends from recyclerview.adapter. So basically it is also recyclerview adapter, but there is also for understanding this one, we can also import here recyclerview adapter directly. So there is no issue in that, but basically recyclerview again has some performance improvement. Well, let's say we are using the recycler view, and we have just list here, and let's say we have some to-do list, and we have created some additional item here. The list contains actually totally 5 items. Okay, and we have just created a separate item and posted added it in the list. It is not actually added in the list, but it is not directly reflected in the list at the same instance as soon as it has been added. So for this, we'll use the notified dataset change, and we'll ask the adapter to refresh the whole list. But if the list is small, 5 to 6 elements or 10 elements, let's say under 100 elements, then that might be feasible. But if there are thousands of records, then and refreshing all the list will require various efforts of that recycler view, and that is not feasible. For that, Android has provided us a separate class, that is DiffUtils. So the DiffUtil class has all this list adapter has already implementation of the DiffUtil class. As its name suggests, that DiffUtils class helps us to refresh only the items that are updated. It actually calculates the differences. It is named as DiffUtil, so difference utility. That is different utility class. It actually compares the elements and checks its IDs or checks its contents. If the contents are same, it doesn't do anything. But if the contents are different, then only it refreshes that item only. So that brings a major performance improvement, and it's recommended to use. So we can also get that documentation for that on the Android developer official website. You can search a DiffUtil on the internet, DiffUtil recycler view, and we can also get official Android developer documentation here. This is already written here. The DiffUtil is a utility class that calculates difference between two lists. Okay, so this is the major improvement we are doing. So that's why this list adapter we are using. We can also use RecyclerView adapter, but we have to do all that DiffUtil logic separately. But the list adapter has already built in for that, because list if we go in the list adapter, we can see in the constructor it is compulsory to pass the DiffUtil instance. So until we create the DiffUtil class and its instance, we can't launch this list adapter. So that's why we are using it. So if you are wondering that what is the exactly good way to implement adapters, recycler view in my application, so you are at the right place. This is the most optimized version of the recycler view. So in this list adapter accepts two parameters. One is of type T, for which we will be creating the adapter, that is post in our case. So we will pass here a post, that is our data class created by us, and another one is RecyclerView.viewHolder. So we have to create a view holder here, a class here separately. So we will create that here inside inner. It will be an inner class view holder, and it will also accept one parameter as view. It will be a view of view type, and it will be extended from recycler dot view holder, and it also accept the same parameter as view, which we have passed here itself. These are the same. And after opening the braces here, so basically in that, this what this class does, this class holds the views, as its name says, it holds the views, and we can bind the values of the with the specific instance of that list. So what we'll do, we'll uh, we'll create here val post id, and here we'll use this view dot, and we'll use this find view by id method to find the views inside this layout post. Here it will be a text view. We have total 3 views, and all of the 3 are text views. We can also use any type here according to what we have in our layout file. So here text view, and I'll pass here id of that, id dot post id. The same I'll repeat for other items also. Post title and post body, and here I will refer post, so post title and post body. Okay, and here for binding I'll create a separate function here, one bind, and in this bind we'll get instance object of this class, this post class. So we'll pass make a parameter here as a post, and now what I will do here, I will map here the post id to the view post id dot text. So value I will assign here whatever the value I have available for that instance, for that particular position in the list. So I'll click here post dot id. Same for others also. Sorry, not text. I need to change this one. Post title and post body. And here also post title post dot body. Okay, that is about this view folder, and we have to pass this view folder in this one view holder, and there are two view holders, so make sure that you are using from our package, this one, this should be the same. Okay, and make sure to call the constructor on it. Okay, now just click on this one error and press alt enter. So it is showing that to implement the members there are two these methods, we have to provide the implementation of those. So firstly rub these to dos. These two methods are here, are there on create view holder and on bind view holder. So on create view holder will basically will be called at the first time we attach the adapter. So here we have to inflate the view whatever we have, we have this layout file, layout underscore post. So we have to inflate this file and return the view holder instance of, for that. So we will make val view equal to it will come from layout inflator dot from. So this from accept the context, but we can't pass the context at the context or just this here, because we are not under any activity and this adapter don't know from which activity we will be getting called. So for this we have solution that we have parent here which will represent parent activity. So we can use the context of the parent. So we'll click parent dot context and then dot inflate. So inflate has multiple implementations, so we'll be using the third one. It will require resource, root and attached to root. So for the resource we will be passing our layout file r dot layout dot layout post. Second parameter is the root, which is of type view group, and we are here parent as view group, so we can directly pass the parent. And the third one is attached to root, so this will be false for every case in the adapter. If it is true, our app will crash. And we'll here return, but in the return we can't directly return the view, instead it demands the view holder. So and we have this view holder method which accesses that of type view, and we have view of type view. So we can just pass the, call this view holder constructor and pass a view in that, so it will automatically return the view holder instance. Okay, we are good with this methods implementation. Let me collapse this one. And now we'll come in on bind view holder. So on bind view holder is called every time a new view is inflated. So it will whatever the binding we have to do, like updating the data in the containers which are recycled, we have to provide the logic of this at this place. So we have already created a method here, one bind, so we can directly call this method here, because we have already holder object of this view holder class, this one, and this class is the same. So we can just do this holder dot bind, get one bind, but this bind requires a post. I mean, let's say our user is currently seeing the third one on the third our contact card. But how do we get the third contact card and the data for that? So we have here position, so we can use this position here which we are getting and get the position for that and can pass the data. So we have here method get item, and in that get item we can use this position. This get item is also from the list adapter here. So we can just do this, and we are done with this methods implementation also, because it doesn't return anything, so we don't have to return anything. So for now, if we are using the simple recycler view here, then our implementation might have completed. But as we are using this list adapter here, we still have to do one more thing, that is DiffUtil callback, which I have just discussed a few minutes ago, that we have to pass in this constructor DiffUtil callback. So I'll create here one class, that is class, we can name it as anything. I'll uh, give it name as diff difference diff post util, difference between post utility. Okay, and this class will inherit from diff util dot item callback, and this item callback needs type t, and our type is post here. And make sure to call constructor on this one, and we'll expand this class. And here let's alt enter, press alt enter, implement member. So we also have these two abstract methods, and we have to provide the implementation of those. So let's clear the to-dos. And these two methods are there. Are items the same? Are contents the same? So just I have discussed that this diff utility class will compare the elements and will update only those whose contents have been changed. So for comparing, we have to provide the logic it expects from us. What logic should I expect to compare the item? So, and it has provided us with old item and new item of the both type which we already have, that is post here. And it expects the boolean if they are true or false. So we have to provide the logic here of that comparison, and if they are true same or not, we have to return the value as a boolean. This is the same for this and this method, but for this method are items the same. So for from all of these this post class, there will be one unique method, there will be one unique key which we all have. Most probably it will be id, so this id will be unique for all the posts. So we can just here say return old item dot id, and if it and equal new item dot id. So for this, if those are equal, then it will be true will be passed, and if those are not equal, then false will be passed. Basically the result of this expression will be passed. And we'll do a similar thing here, but here we'll not compare the IDs. We'll compare all the contents, that old item and new item. All the contents in the fields of these both classes will be compared here. That's why here are content the same. This method is called. So we'll just compare this old item is equal with new item, and yes, the result of this expression will be returned as a boolean value. So now we have completed the implementation of the adapter. We just have to pass this diff post util class constructor to this one, and the error has been gone here. Okay, now our adapter is complete. Now we can go to our main activity to set up the things. At first, I'll create one list here which will going to show the post list, and it will equal to mutable list of, we don't need here. So and I'll use the same here list we have created in the strings.xml. So I'll create an object of this each of these three values, id, title and body. So resources, okay, r dot id dot, sorry, get string, you have to here id r dot string dot id1. Again get string r dot id dot title, sorry, not id, r dot string dot title1, and again get string r dot string dot body1. This completes one object. So I'll skip showing you and we'll come up with all the other posts. Okay, here I have completed the whole list and now our list is ready. So we will find our recycler view with okay, before that we can just call our adapter, that is post adapter, and we'll just call the constructor here post adapter. Okay, so this has the instance of the adapter, and we will call a find view by id, that is recycler view r dot id dot rv post. This is our recycler view, and on this I'll call the Kotlin scope function, that is apply, so that we don't have to repeat all this again and again. And with dot we can just directly refer the properties of the recycler view, and we can just click on here, use here adapter property, which is from here rv post. So if you can hover on this adapter, it is coming from the recycler view, which we have defined in the layout file. So adapter will assign this post adapter here, and there is one more property, that is layout manager. So in this we'll assign that linear layout manager, and it accepts the context, so we can pass this admin activity here. Okay, and finally we have to provide the list to the adapter, so we can click on this, and basically we can click on this post adapter. We can write here, sorry, post adapter dot submit list, we have here option. So in this we'll pass this post list, and I think we are good with the implementation. So now there is nothing remaining in this, so let's try running our application. Okay, our application has now opened, and yes, we are able to show the list of this post. We can scroll here, there are total 10 number of posts, and we are getting the exact same data which we have shared here in the string.xml. We can also compare the data, and the data is same, 5th, 6th, or we can compare also for 4th. So, and we can easily scroll this one. So finally we have implemented the recycler view successfully in our application. So the design might not be correct. We can provide some good design here, and we can also include other elements also, like image view, edit text, everything we can include here like a normal layout. So one thing I would like to show here is that, let's say we have a list of products here, and you want some behavior, like on clicking on this button, some action should be required, like navigating to further another screen or showing some toast message or something like that. So if you want such behavior after clicking on each individual item, something should happen. So how would you do that? Let me show you that how you can achieve that. In this onBind view holder, you can we have here holder instance, so we can directly click on right holder dot item view. This is the same view we are inflating, and a dot we can just directly set a click on listener on this one, and we'll put the log statement here. We'll make some log as recycler view, and here what we can say, clicked on post with id, and we'll pass the id here using this method get item and passing the position. Basically we can if you have multiple times or requirement of this post object here, so we can just catch it in another variable and can use that variable every time. Get item position and dot id. So now let's relaunch our app, and I'll filter the locket according to this tag, and let us clear the locket. Okay. And now I'll click on first one, and here we are getting the message clicked on post with id equal to 1, 1, 2, 3, and I click on last id, that is id 10. Okay, so we are getting the id of each individual item on clicking on that, and this behavior is that this is the place basically where you can do anything you want on clicking of the individual item. So this will be much helpful. That's why I would like to show here is that. And let us note, please note that this id we are getting is from list, this post object, and we are accessing the id property. So this is the id, this is not index number of the recycler view. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you are clear with the recycler view concept now, and are ready to implement that in your own application. So if you have some questions or doubts regarding this, so please let me know in the comments so that I can answer it from my side as much as possible. And if you like this video, then please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you don't like something, then let me know in the comments so that I can improve on my content. So we'll meet in the next tutorial with some another interesting topic. Till then, goodbye, happy coding.